Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another tutorial, this time mixed media fun. I came home from work today and I had it in my mind to do some mixed media tags, but I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do or what I wanted to use or what the result is that I wanted, but I was kind of thinking along the lines I'd love to have some tags, mixed media tags, to put in the Winter Wonder journals. So I went ahead and made this prototype, and look at the grungy scrumptiousness of this. Whoa, look at that blue. Oh my gosh, that blue is so amazing. So amazing. So we've got the silver, we've got the Payne's gray, we've got the quinacridone Nicolazo gold, and the Nicolazo yellow as well. We've got some texture paste and some Crackle glaze. I think I was changing my mind about the Crackle glaze, but I think I am going to pull it back out, and I want to show you why, if I can find a part that's showing it. See this part here? Hopefully this is going to focus. There we go. So this part in here is the Crackle glaze, and basically what it does is it creates a barrier where nothing is going to be affected on top of it. Like the paint just kind of sits on the top because it's a barrier. It's kind of like a plastic. I mean, because it's an acrylic medium, it kind of sits there as a barrier between the layers. So I am absolutely loving this. So what I did off camera just to prepare is I went ahead and we're going to do 3 of them together. I got 3 tags, and these are just the Ranger tags, these ones here. And I just took some book page and music page and covered them off camera. I then went ahead and gave them a coat of clear gesso. And the reason for the clear gesso is just that it allows it provides a tooth, which is basically a surface that will grab the acrylic. I got a thumbs down on my screen. And bubbles. Oh my goodness. Was it because I did that? I don't know. Freaks me out. Anyway, oh man, I just lost my train of thought. I don't even know what I was saying. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying. Oh, the gesso, the clear gesso. So it creates a tooth. It also makes it possible so that your paints don't just absorb into the paper and the cardboard that's underneath it. That's the tag material. So the other supplies that I have here is I've got 3 stencils that I'll be using. So I'll be using this one, which, see how I don't clean my stencils? You can actually see the Crackle paint on this stencil. That is just terrible. So we've got that one, and then we've got this one I thought would be fun to use. These are all Tim Holtz stencils, but I thought this one would be really lovely. I'm actually thinking about using some of it on the bottom and maybe putting some stars up in the sky because these are for the winter journals. So the other things that I have is I have my Liquitex flexible modeling paste. I've already told you about the clear gesso. I've got my Payne's gray fluid acrylic, beautiful. You can see it kind of here. It's a really beautiful blue gray, really, really rich color. I've got my raw umber fluid acrylic for a glaze. We'll talk about that in a moment. I've got my quinacridone Nicolazo gold, one of my favorite colors, and the golden Nicolazo yellow. I also have my matte medium, which I will need to do the glaze, and I'll talk about that when we get there. And I pulled out the Crackle paint, but I'm debating on whether I want to use the Crackle paint or the Crackle glaze. Maybe I'll do some with both. So I'm just going to reach behind me and grab that. I actually did put it away. But it doesn't, I use this mostly, I use it mostly for that clear kind of coating that I get on a surface rather than the Crackle effect. So that's what I'm going for here. I've got some water because I may want to spritz my paint to thin it out a little bit. So the first thing that we're going to do, and I have a little note over here, kind of the order of events that I did in my prototype. So I put book page. You could do book page, music page. You can even do tissue paper or napkins or something just to create some interest in the background that will peek through the layers. So on this tag, you can see the book page up here. Hopefully you guys can see that. My camera is having trouble focusing, so let me just see if you guys can peruse what you see there. I see more music paper, no, book page in here. My monitor's backwards, so I apologize. So you want something behind it. Look at it over here. That is amazing right there. Something behind it that creates some interest in the background. So then the next thing that we did, so that could be a piece of a digital, like if you wanted to use a piece from your actual digital that's a part of your project, you could do that. I do want to note as I'm looking at this in the monitor that this is all crooked. It didn't line up very well, but it doesn't matter because it's all just interest in the background. Nobody's going to be looking at it and going, oh, those words are not straight. So and then what we're going to do is I went ahead and I put the gesso on. Then we're going to come in with a texture paste through the stencils, and then we're going to do some Crackle paint. Then we're going to do a raw umber glaze, and then we're going to start applying our main color, which is our Payne's Gray, because that's the color I really want as my dark for this project. And then we'll dry all of that, and they'll be drying in between a lot of these pieces anyway. And then we'll come in with some other colors. So I came in with the Quinacridone Nicolezo Gold and the Nicolezo Yellow. And then the silver will be at the very, very end, which is also the fluid acrylic, iridescent fine. So let's get going. So I've got my modeling paste here. You could use any brand you like, guys. I'm just using this because it's what I have, and it's actually a preferred product for me. And I've got some palette knives. I generally like to use this one for stenciling with modeling paste, and then this one I like to use for the Crackle paint or the Crackle glaze. So just so you know that, I'm just going to move my mouse out of the way, and let's go ahead and start with this one, hoping that my cruddy stuff on my stencil is not going to be a problem. I'm going to kind of go off the edge here, and we're going to just apply a layer of the texture paste on top of the stencil. We're going to lose a lot of the bottom of this because this is such an open stencil, but that's okay. And I don't care if they're irregular or if we get texture paste in all of the spaces or not. That's totally up to you. I'm not looking for perfection, so I really like the irregular look. So lesson, guys, when you don't clean the stencils, what happens is your palette knife will not go over that dried on stuff. So that's what I'm bumping into here, but I'm gonna be okay with that. So I'm just gonna scrape off some of this off the top. We actually took some off of the inside there. We don't want to do that. You just want to kind of have it so that it's not too super thick on top, because that will it will cause a peak when you pull your stencil off. So I'll probably put this video in the Mixed Media 101 because this is just an initial basic example of how you would layer up things on a tag. So super easy in terms of like size wise, it's a pretty small project. Okay, so that's not enough for me. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over, and I'm going to use my stencil again and get a little bit at the top as well. I'm going to go a little bit less on the top, and I'm just going to turn the stencil this way. Now I do need to hold it up here so that I don't get it in my wet stencil. Okay, so I'm just going to hold it right here, and I'm just going to put a little bit here at the top. Okay, just like that. Nothing too fancy. We're just looking for some interest again. So there we go. So let's set that aside, and that's perfect. I'm just going to set that stencil over there. And then so this one is ready to just sit and be dried. So you can see it's irregular. but it's beautiful. So I'm going to set that over there, and I'm going to bring in another stencil. I'm just going to wipe this texture paste off. I don't know how much of this video I'll be able to cut down. There's a lot of drying time, so hopefully I can shorten it, but as always, if the video gets too long, you can always speed me up, and that works out just fine. So I'm going to come in with more texture paste here, and I think this time I'm going to go ahead and use this one. I love this stencil. I think this is going to be really beautiful at the bottom. So I'm thinking I want to come down like that so that I have kind of a distinct line there. I think would be kind of cool, except my words and stuff are not straight. Okay, and then we will be coming in with, and I'll probably take a break and go drop those in water when we're done, but I'm also going to be coming in with a Crackle paint, which I like to kind of mix in and overlap that texture there. So let's go ahead and do the last one. I'm feeling like I want both patterns again, so you have to be careful when you get too much texture paste up at the top rim. If it's dried out, you want to make sure you remove that, because that will not play well. So I'm going to kind of go over here, just sort of like I did before, and do kind of this corner, not the half, but just the corner, like down here, and a little bit up from the corner. Again, the less perfect, the better, as far as the end effect. So there we go. I'm going to lift that up, and oh wow, that's beautiful. And then we'll go ahead and do some dots at the top just to use the other part. Don't really want a lot of dots, but this is tricky because no matter which way I turn it, I'm going to get this in the way here. Let's just get a couple dots down, not a lot. It actually doesn't matter if I touch that other texture, because I'm going to be touching it anyway with the other paste, so the paint rather. Okay, so I'm going to set those aside. I will put those in water as soon as I do the next step. I'll take a break and let all of this dry. This is a lot of drying in this process, so I will cut that all out for you. But that's what that one looks like. Really beautiful. Probably going to try to take pictures of these too, so that I can save them for my own benefit. As you can see on this one, I did not. Oh, that's coming up. See how that's coming up? I didn't embellish this at all, because I'm not exactly sure what I want to do. I just really want to show you the process of creating the mixed media effect here. So let's pull these back over here, and I'll show you what I mean with the Crackle paint. And I am going to do the Crackle paint, I think, and not the Crackle glaze. Or maybe we'll do one with the Crackle glaze. Maybe we'll do the glaze on this one, and we'll do the paste on the other ones. So this is the Crackle glaze, and these are both from DecoArt Media, a really great company. And I am going to go ahead and get the smaller palette knife, and I'm going to actually switch places here between these two. I'm actually going to hold it up so I have a little bit more control over where this is going, and you're going to see it's going to bump into that modeling paste, okay? And that is all right. And I don't want a lot of this though, because again, it's going to create a barrier, so that white texture paste is actually going to stay white, because it's going to seal that in, as well as I mean, some color covers this this book page, but not a lot. And I'm going to go down along the edge. That creates a really cool effect on the bottom, and I feel good about that. So hopefully you guys can see in the camera where I put that. Okay, and I think the other two we're just going to use the Crackle, or the Crackle paint. Okay, so we're going to do the same here with this product. We got to get this dried gunk out, so give me a second here. This is my old one, I think. I don't think this is the new one, so, but it's still good in there. It's still got a good pot of stuff. Wipe this knife off. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this part up just so that I can save time in the video. And we're going to go ahead and just apply this kind of haphazardly. I'm going to move the camera a little closer so you can see, because sometimes when I speed it up, it can be hard to see what I'm actually doing. So I'm just going to get to the kind of towards the bottom of that pot, and I'm going to use this smaller palette knife, and I'm going to pick it up again. And I don't want to cover everything because this Crackle paint will actually, it will be white if it doesn't get colored by the paint. So I don't want to overdo it. Okay, so just kind of like that. Okay, on that bottom part, and then on the top part, this is the texture paste is already mostly dry. That's crazy. Turn this a little bit. This is going to be so pretty. I like to get it on the edge. I think that's really a lovely look. So that looks good to me. I am going to kind of wipe off a little bit on these edges, because once it's dry, it's kind of hard to remove. And then let's do the same here. I'm going to be very sparing on the stars because I don't want that to, I want to be able to see that they're stars, but I am going to come down into this kind of architecture shape here because I don't like that hard line that we created. And I'm going to kind of come into it here, just here and there, not a lot, just like so. Okay, and guys, this just takes practice. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and dry these, and I will be back. Okay, I think we're good to go. So this is the one with the Crackle paint. So where it's thicker, it's harder for it to crackle, but I don't mind that. I like the look both of the Crackle and other. So you can kind of see the textural difference between the Crackle paint and the texture paste. This is almost a little bit more translucent. You can see the letter through it actually. So that's interesting. And then this is the one where we use the Crackle glaze. So hopefully you guys can see all that shine. That's going to be amazing. We're gonna be really fascinated with the results on this. You get a little bit of a milky, oh, that's because that's not completely dry. There's a lot going on there. I'm just gonna press it down. It's not a big deal. Okay, and then this one. So I love this because we can still see the shape of that architecture and the stars, which was what I was going for. And then we've got a little bit of Crackle. So we're safe to go ahead and go on to our onto our raw umber glaze. So I'm going to actually reach and grab my palette here so that I don't make a mess on my mat. So I have this clipboard that has palette paper that allows me to have a place to put my stuff. I'm going to move my mouse entirely out of the way. There we go. So I can kind of have a place for this. It's going to be a little bit off camera for you guys, I think. But that's okay. I'll show you what we're doing as we do it. Maybe I'll turn it this way so you guys can at least get this part of it. So we're going to do a little bit of mixing here. So if you watched me before, you've seen me do this a lot. I use raw umber fluid acrylic for my glaze and matte medium. So you do 1 part paint to 2 parts of the matte medium. Okay, so about like that. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and use this soft brush and mix that up. And we're just going to start painting. I'm going to be really gentle though, because I don't want to disturb any of that medium because I'm not very patient, as you guys probably already know. When it comes to mixed media, I'm not very patient. So this is just going to allow that some grunge to settle into the texture. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and take a wipe and wipe it off. Which probably seems a little counterintuitive if you've never seen this before, but it works like a beauty. Okay, and I like to just kind of pat it like that because I don't want to take off too much, but you can see how we've got it sitting on the top of that texture, but we've got it down into the valleys of the stencil. Look at that. That is amazing. Focus. Come on, lady. Why are you not focusing tonight? There we go. So we're going to set that one aside and we're going to continue on. So I will just speed through this for you guys. Okay, what I'm doing here is I'm just going over some areas just because I have some extra glaze and just giving a little more of an application there so we really get that to stay inside all that texture, so to create some darks passages. So the really grungy white you see here is going to go away when we start applying some paint, so don't you worry. Going to be beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, love it. Okay, so I'm going to plop that in my water. I'm going to go ahead and dry this and I will be right back. So there we go. So we are ready for the next step. So as you can see, we see those music lines. They do show. I wish I would have made that straight because they do show through, but that's okay. And then this one is absolutely gorgeous. And this one, we're gonna go with this one last because I feel like it's still a little bit, it's a little bit wet because I think it's that Crackle glaze. So you can see all that shine, that's all the Crackle glaze. Okay, so we're gonna set that one up there and that one over there, and I'm gonna move my palette here a little bit. And we're gonna come in with this one. So let me move my camera down again. And I think I want to go in on this one and go in with the Payne's Gray. So I'm going to put a little bit out here on my palette. Sorry, this is not very visible for you guys. It's because I have the camera so close. So I'm just going to put a little bit of Payne's Gray there. And I'm going to spritz it with some water. And I'm going to just kind of mix it up a little bit. It's a very thin paint, and it's very staining, so beware. And we're going to dip this in, okay? And then we'll probably spray it some more on the actual tag surface here, okay? You do want to make sure that you're drying in between each of these colors, otherwise you're going to get, if I went in with the Nickel Azo Gold, I would get a green, right? Because yellow and blue make green. So I'm just going to dab that up a little bit and just get rid of some of that. Okay. Just like that. And then we're going to let that sit. Actually, I want to get more of that back in that corner. I liked that look. Yeah, like that. Okay. So this is what it looks like when it's wet. Okay. Pretty dark, but I promise you it's not going to stay that way. It's going to be beautiful. So I'm going to set that aside right there. Got so many products out here, don't really have space. Okay, so this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm really liking the look of that. We might just go in with a little bit less of a color than another color just to kind of mix it up a little bit and have every tag be just slightly different. I don't know if that's going to work out, but we're going to try. So again, I'm just going to go in dip. Just going to dip, dip, dip. Let's call this mixed media dipping. Oh, this is so beautiful. So beautiful. Look at how it's sitting on top of those dots. I love that. Okay. So we're gonna, again, we're gonna spray on here too, just to kind of move it around a little bit. And then you go through a lot of baby wipes with mixed media, guys, so I buy them at Costco. And look at my hands. This is what the nail ladies hate. No, they love me. They're actually subscribers on the channel, so they understand what I do. So I'm just gonna dab that up a little bit. We can always go back in with more of the blue, but that's pretty. And then we're gonna stick with the same colors. I'm just gonna put a little bit more out here because I don't know if I have enough. Mix it with my finger. Okay, like so. And let's just do some dipping. This is gonna be really, really beautiful. Oh, you guys can't even see the dipping. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Okay, let's go ahead and spritz that. And I'm going to go in with my baby wipe, and I'm being very gentle. I don't want to take a bunch of the paint up, and I want it to be kind of hit and miss. Okay, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just wipe this up. I can use this palette paper over and over, which I love. And yeah, stains it a little bit, but then I don't go through a ton of it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take a moment to dry these, and I'll be right back. Okay, let me show you a close-up of these. Look at this one. This is the one with the Crackle glaze. So it's a little bit harder to tell. Like you can see, we've got this shine down here. So in this area right here, that is actually the glaze. Okay? Look at the grunge on that. So if you're not a fan of grunge, you could alter this and make it your colors and make it have the effect that you want. But I love grungy mixed media. So that is that one. Beautiful. And here's this one, equally beautiful. I love it. Absolutely love it. You can see the crackle. It reminds me I need to take some pictures though, guys, before I forget. Before we move on to the next layer. So that is that. So I'm going to take some pictures and I'll be right back. Okay, thank you for letting me do that. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget that. So now we dried in between, and so now we're going to come in with the other colors. So again, we're going to stick with the same color combination, maybe just lighter in some than others. So I'm going to come in with the Nicolazo Gold on this one, and I'm going to just put it here on my palette and use my finger to apply it. Okay, I can kind of control where that's going, and it's just going to bring kind of a yellow in. So this is a very transparent color. So see that, and this is again the benefit of buying an artist acrylic if you can swing it, is that you get some really transparent colors. So that's the fact that you can see all that black through that paint tells me it's very transparent. So super, super cool. And that's why we're going to be able to see some of the stuff underneath as well. It's not going to take over. Okay. This one I feel like I don't want to do a lot to, because I'm loving this yellow. I do want the color, the grungy texture covered up a little bit. Okay. Because I don't really like that gray color. We might go in with the other stuff. I might even come in with a little bit more Payne's gray. So that's what that one looks like with the Nicolazo Gold. So gorgeous. Oh my gosh. And we'll do the same here. I'm just going to kind of pick this up and see if I can control it that way. Now, if that blue is not dry completely in the valleys, we may get a little bit of green, but that's not a problem. And this, I noticed this one's very much darker, and I wonder if that's the glaze, if it's the way that the the paint is behaving with the glaze base, which is okay. Oh, so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love this. I love that you're here watching this play because it's just so rewarding. Excellent. Okay, so you can see they're going to be very similar, and that's okay. You can do what you like though. I'm just going to stick with it just for the ease of the video. I'm sticking with the same color scheme, and I like getting it up on that texture. Got a little bit of green there. That's okay. We'll probably come in with more blue though, because I don't want to lose. I want a little bit of that Payne's gray, which is blue gray, to be sitting kind of on the top when we're done here. A little bit. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Look at that. So gorgeous. Okay, so let me take a moment and dry these, and we'll come back in with another layer of something. Okay, so now we're going to come in with the quinacridone nickel azo gold. So this is more of an orange color. You can probably see the difference between the two here on the palette here. So look at how orangish red that is. Really, really love it. So I'm just going to go in again. I'm going to try not to be too heavy-handed, because you can do too much, and then you can actually take away from your project. So just be, you can always put more. It's a little bit harder to remove it. I gotta set that down. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. It's getting very colorful because we got a lot of green in that last sweep through this one. So, and it might be the way that it's behaving again with the glaze versus. So you can always go in with a baby wipe and kind of dab, okay, if you get a little bit too much. So let's do the same here. That's really busy, goodness gracious. Same thing. So I try to remind myself that less is more. We got a lot of green here. I can see it now that it's dry, but that's okay. I love to get this darker color on the base as well, kind of in those dark areas of the base. A little bit down here. So pretty. I love this gold. I need to get that more of that yellow right there. This yellow is beautiful. Okay. One more. Oh my gosh, this is so lovely. Look at that. I really love how this one turned out. I'm not sure what it is that's appealing to me. Come on, camera. Oh my goodness. It's not focusing well. Okay, so let me wipe this up. I'm going to go ahead and dry this one more time, and I think I'm going to highlight a little bit more of the Payne's gray just on the top layers, and then we'll go in with the silver, and then we'll be done just like that, lickety split. So actually I decided I'm not going to do any more Payne's gray. I'm going to splatter some white. So I'm just getting rid of that paper. And I've got this white paint. This is already really thin. I don't like this apple barrel white at all. I tried to use it when I was jelly printing, and it would, look at how runny it is. It's just like water almost, but it'll be perfect for splattering. And I like to splatter with a fan brush. So I'm gonna get this off camera a little bit so that I can get these in. Okay, and we're just gonna splatter on all of them, make some snow. Okay, hopefully this is gonna work well. Don't know. Don't know. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. I should have done, I think I will do that with the other one too. Should have done it before I put the silver on my prototype. A little bit more on this one. That is just lovely. I'm going to pull this one over. I don't know if I'm going to have very much effect because we've already got the silver on, but I'm going to give it a try. Come on. Are you being difficult? Oh, no, it doesn't matter. I'm getting paint everywhere. Look at that's the one I just did. So it doesn't matter that the silver is already on there. Oh my goodness, that's so beautiful. So one more dry and then we will come back and just take one final look at it and put some silver on it. Okay, I just want to show you something, guys. So I don't know if you can tell just by the texture how we've bridged the gap between this architecture work and the stars up above. And look at that, just lusciousness. I mean, I just can't even believe. I do this over and over and I still can't believe how beautiful it is. So you can see here we got a lot of green, but that's okay. And I'm going to set that one down and show you this one. They're a little bit busy, but once they get like a focal image or something on them, I think they're going to be okay. And then the other one here. So again, we bridged it by putting in some, you know, some Crackle paint there and some Crackle glaze, and that kind of bridges. Look at that little section over there. Can you see that? Oh, it won't focus. I'm trying to show you this piece right here. It's got such beautiful, beautiful color. Will you focus? Yeah, no. It's okay. So I am going to indulge myself though, and I'm going to use a little bit of gold too. So on this one I'm going to use gold. No, I'm going to use silver because we've got the stars on this one. So I'm going to get my silver, iridescent silver fine, and I'm just going to put a little bit of it on my mat here, my palette paper. And I'm just going to get a little bit on my finger. You don't want much, so because you want to try to avoid it getting, oh, you guys can't even see that. You want to avoid it getting down in all the crevices, so this helps that. And I'm going to hold it. Hopefully that's going to help me as well. And we're just going to rub gently, as you guys have seen me do before if you've been following me at all. I don't want to go overboard with this, so we're going to be a little bit, this is actually toning down a lot of that color, which I think is really beautiful. Oh my gosh, this is so gorgeous. I may have to do some more for the other winter journal, because one of these will have to be a prototype or a sample for my reference journal, maybe. So look at that. I need some gold, silver on the edges there. But look at that. How festive and snowy and beautiful is that? Wow. Okay, I do want to do one in gold, so I think I'll do this one in gold just because I love gold. And I'm going to just play around with that and see what it looks like. So this is the one that had our Crackle glaze, so I'm curious how it's going to respond or what its final look is going to be, because it's got larger swaths of a medium that is kind of clear. It's kind of a clear layer, so it's kind of interesting. Oh my gosh, this is so adorable. It's not adorable, it's fantastic. Look at what happened with that one though. Look at how silvery that got. I almost feel like it's a little bit much in places, so I'm going to see if I can affect it a little bit. But you don't want too much, because again, sometimes it's too much of a good thing, right? So I'm just getting some of that up. There we go. I like that. So beautiful. I know it's probably hard to see in the light here, but the photos at the end will help give a more accurate representation. So this is the third one. So I'm going to use my iridescent gold fine, which is my favorite one I mentioned in another video. I'm not a big fan of silver, but we're going to go with the gold and see what we get here. just for something different. Oh, this is beautiful too. I had no doubt it would be. I am definitely a gold girl though. Oh, that was way too much. So see how you can kind of go in there and kind of take a little bit of that off. Okay. Oh my goodness, this is scrumptious. Absolutely scrumptious. And yes, we can apply that word to art. That is a lot of gold. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of gold. A little bit more over here. As I say, that's too much. Oh my gosh, look at that. Let's get a little bit around this edge here. May as well use this extra up and just put a little bit around the edges just to kind of define the tag a little bit. So that's that one. So beautiful. I'm going to do the same with the silver here and get a little bit more silver around just the edges of the tag. Kind of gives it a nice little frame. And I will be saying goodbye to you guys. I'm hoping that I can cut down this video so it's not too much. But again, if it's too long, you can always speed me up. I don't get offended by that at all. So I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.